Across cultures and generations, people have shared stories about death, not just what happens after, but the moments before. They speak of signs, subtle, strange, sometimes terrifying. A sound in the night, a figure by the river, a shadow that looks just like you. In this video, we're exploring 5 death omens from around the world. Stories rooted in fear, mystery, and the hope that we might recognize the warning before it's too late. You won't hear the banshee this time. She's had her own story. These are the other messengers, the ones who watch and wait. In the quiet valleys of the Scottish Highlands, some believe that death doesn't just arrive, it's foretold by a woman washing blood from clothes that haven't been worn yet. She's called the Bungay, the washer at the ford. You might see her alone by a stream, hunched low, scrubbing something red from a shroud that never seems to come clean. In old Gaelic legend, she's the spirit of a woman who died in childbirth, cursed to wash the clothes of the dead. Until the end she was denied. People say she has long hair, tangled and wet, skin pale as stone, and sometimes one nostril or webbed hands. She's rarely seen, but if you do cross her path, it means someone's time is running out. She's said to appear at dusk or just before dawn, always near water, always alone. In some stories, her hair is fiery red, her clothes green, like the hills, and her eyes never leave the fabric she's scrubbing. People believe that if you saw her washing clothes, the garments belong to someone who would soon die. Sometimes your own. There's an old tale. If you approach her quietly, without startling her, and speak with respect, she might tell you whose death is near. But if you disturb her, or if you interrupt her work, you may end up joining the one she was preparing for. On the lonely roads of Eastern England, when the wind picks up and the night turns strange, some still speak of the hound. They call him Black Shuck, a creature the size of a calf, or larger, covered in matted black fur, with eyes that burn red in the dark. He walks the fens and graveyards of East Anglia, silent and watchful. Sometimes he appears just once, and that's enough, because to see Black Shuck is to be marked. In older tales, his presence meant death within a year, sometimes days. One stormy morning in 1577, lightning tore across the sky above Bungay, a quiet town in Suffolk. Inside St. Mary's Church, people had gathered, seeking shelter or mercy. Then came the sound of splitting wood. A black dog, enormous and wild-eyed, burst through the doors. It ran the length of the nave, passed between 2 worshippers, and in a breath, they were dead, their necks broken. Another man was left badly burned, as if touched by fire, not claws. That same day the beast appeared in nearby Blythburgh. 3 more died. And on the north door of the church, deep scorch marks were left behind. Locals called them the devil's fingerprints. You can still see them today. Not every story ends in death. Some say Black Shuck isn't always a curse, but a guide. Travelers tell of a black dog appearing beside them on a lonely path, pacing silently at their side, never threatening, never straying. Then, just as they reach safety, it disappears. No growl, no sound, just gone. In these stories, Shuck isn't death itself, but the one who walks before it, the shadow that warns or protects, depending on how you listen. But even in those gentler tales, he never stays long, and he never comes without a reason. Centuries have passed, but Black Shuck hasn't faded. Sightings still surface. A black dog on a country road, red eyes glowing in the headlights, gone before the driver can turn around. And in 2014, near the ruins of Leiston Abbey, archaeologists uncovered the bones of a massive dog, over 7 feet long from nose to tail. Some believed they had found him. The bones were dated to the 16th century, the same era as the church attacks. But scientists called it coincidence. A large dog, they said. Nothing more. Still, people came to see, to stand by the grave, to wonder. Because in the end, legends don't die, especially the ones that walk beside us in the dark. There's something unsettling about seeing your own face, when it isn't where it should be. Across Europe and beyond, people have spoken of the Doppelgänger, a spirit double, a perfect copy of a living person, who appears not as a warning for someone else, but for you. It doesn't speak. It doesn't smile. It watches. And once it's been seen, something begins to unravel. Catherine the Great was one of the most powerful rulers in Russian history, but even she was shaken by what she saw. One night, her guards claimed she had entered the throne room, except Catherine was still in bed. When she went to see for herself, there it was, sitting on her throne, her exact double. She ordered it shot. The bullets passed through, and not long after, she was dead. Queen Elizabeth I had a vision too. She saw herself lying motionless on her bed, pale as if already gone. She told her courtiers what she saw. Days later, it came true. Sometimes the warning isn't a ghost or a sound in the dark, but your own face in the wrong place. Stories of the Doppelgänger aren't about a spirit with a name or a figure that haunts the woods. They're about a moment, a glimpse. You walk into a room and see yourself already there, or a friend swears they saw you, somewhere you've never been. The details change, but the feeling is always the same. Wrong, heavy, like the world just shifted and something's not quite where it should be. Some say it means death. Others say it's your soul, stepping out, just before something ends. Most people who see one never talk about it, because deep down, they know what it meant. In the forests of Galicia, when the mist rolls low and the air turns still, some say the dead begin to walk. They move in silence, hooded, candlelit, a long line of pale figures drifting through the trees. Locals call it La Santa Compaña, the Holy Company. But there's nothing holy about it. These aren't spirits visiting the living. They're summoning them. The one who leads them isn't always a ghost. In many stories, it's a living person, cursed, chosen without knowing. Each night, they rise from bed, half asleep, and walk at the head of the procession, holding a cross or a candle, guiding the dead through dark paths. By morning, they remember nothing, but over time, they begin to fade, growing pale, weaker, like the grave is already reaching for them. The only way to break the curse is to pass it on. There are warnings, faint sounds, like whispered prayers, a sudden drop in temperature, the smell of candle wax, where no candles burn. If you sense them coming, don't move, don't look, drop to the ground, face down, eyes shut. Some draw a circle in chalk, others carry bread or iron, small things meant to hold the living in place. because if the Compaña sees you, they might hand you a candle, and if you take it, even by accident, you'll join the march. Night after night, until someone else takes your place. In the villages of Galicia, people still speak of them. Some won't walk alone at night. Others leave candles at the edge of the woods, just in case. The stories have shifted with time, but the feeling hasn't. That sense that something might be walking just beyond the trees, moving slowly, watching, searching. Not every death comes with a cry. Some arrive on quiet feet, wearing robes and carrying light. In the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, people started seeing something. It had wings, it stood like a man, and its eyes glowed red in the dark. It was first spotted in 1966 near an old munitions plant. A group of locals said it chased their car, flying faster than it should have been able to move. No sound, just wings and eyes. More sightings followed. People described the same thing: tall, silent, watching. They started calling it the Mothman. For 13 months the sightings continued. People saw the creature near homes, in fields, perched on rooftops. Sometimes it followed them, sometimes it just stood and stared. Phones went dead. Radios cut out. Strange lights appeared in the sky. And then, on December 15th, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed. It was rush hour. 46 people died. The town never forgot. After that day, Mothman vanished. No one saw it again, not in Point Pleasant. After the bridge fell, the questions changed. People no longer wondered what it was, but why it had come at all. Some say Mothman was never the cause, only the witness. A silent presence drawn to disaster, like smoke before fire. Not a monster, but a warning no one understood until it was too late. Years later, stories would surface again. A winged figure near a collapsing mine. Dark shapes at the edge of a reactor site. But nothing ever matched Point Pleasant. Because there, the fear wasn't just in the sightings. It was in what no one realized until it was over. Today, Point Pleasant has a statue, a museum, an annual festival. But beneath the souvenirs and smiles, there's still something uneasy in the story. Because no one ever proved what people saw, and no one ever saw it again. That's what makes Mothman different. It came, it watched, and then it left. Just before everything fell apart, some omens speak, others only appear. Not every shadow is an omen. Not every whisper in the dark is a warning. But across centuries, people have looked for patterns in the chaos. A sign before the fall, a cry before the silence. Whether it's a phantom washing clothes by moonlight, a creature watching from the bridge, or a double that should not exist. These tales persist. They live on because they speak to something ancient in us, the need to know when the end is near, to find meaning in the unknown, or to fear it. So if you ever hear a sound that doesn't belong, see a figure where none should stand, or feel the air grow still for no reason, ask yourself, is it just the wind, or something older, watching?